Welcome to Alliance for Progress Charter School. As a new employee, we want to make sure you have the best onboarding experience ever. So let's get started. The mission of our school is to provide a rigorous and nurturing academic program, preparing students for college and career success. And of course, we want to promote their social and emotional growth. Oh, before I forget, a little about me. My name is Jermaine Kamau. Uh, People call me Jay, and I'm the operations manager here. Basically, I support many areas of the school, including the cafeteria, the maintenance staff, some contractors that visit, and even teachers. Because on the other side of that, I have a background in education and technology, and I use that information to support teachers and other staff members when it comes to using some of the software here. So you'll probably see me around school, but just want to introduce myself to you. I'm Jay. All right. At this school, we have a dynamic leadership team, starting at the top with our CEO, Stacy Scott. We have Mr. Brian Cameron, principal, Ms. Abdullah, who's our director for kindergarten through second, Mrs. Lamb, who's our academic director for third through fifth grade, Mr. H, who is our culture director. He's got a team of people that work with him. You'll meet. As far as technology goes, we have a partner called the Kimmel Group, and they work and serve as our technology director. So they provide us with the tech support, some of the equipment, and things like that. And you'll find out more about them as you navigate through the school and learn about the equipment you need. I mentioned myself already. Also, Ms. Tanksley, who is our school social worker and student support coordinator. She does a lot for families and students here in the area of, social emotional learning and crisis intervention and support. And finally, last but not least on this list, you have our business and compliance manager, Miss Alicia, who keeps the glue together financially for the school. So there you have it, the school leadership team. All right, here's some pictures of folks just so you can get an idea of who they are once again. And here's our focus on academics team. So again, you got Mr. Cameron, Ms. Lamb, Ms. Abdullah. In support and complementary force, we have two middle school instructional coaches. For the 6th through 8th grade, the middle school, you have Mrs. Kellogg. And for the K through 5 elementary school, we have Mr. Emilis, focusing on academics. So as you know, it's bigger than academics at school. We try to nurture and support the whole student. And by doing that, by wanting to do that, we've created, a school culture team. What that culture team does is like a wraparound for all student activities, behaviors, and monitoring them and helping them just learn to be civil toward each other, civil toward others, and just bring out the best in them. And that team, as I mentioned before, is led by Mr. H, the culture director, and also supporting student services in the area of more of an emotional side of things and social side of things, as I mentioned, is Ms. Tanksley. All right. And again, this is the operations and tech team, we'll call it, which is the Kimmel Group. You'll meet a gentleman named Jeff normally, who is in the building, very pleasant, always willing to help, and myself, likewise, I guess. We have these ticketing systems that we use. You'll put a tech ticket in if you have a tech question, and you have an operations question related to something in your classroom that needs to be repaired, replaced, destroyed, trashed, or has some other technical issue. I'm here to help. All right, generally, how things work at the school. So again, our mission is we want to provide students with a rigorous program and make sure that they are prepared for college, career, and so forth. And so during your onboarding, you're going to meet a lot of different people that are going to introduce you to the school culture, our policies, procedures. You're going to meet some colleagues and be exposed to the electronic environment we use here, which is Microsoft 365, and for some of you, PowerSchool. You're going to have some trainings you'll need to complete. And some of them are mandatory and some of them are optional, but you have to do that, including, assessment and curriculum if you're a teacher, and technology trainings if you have other positions. All right. Hopefully, the idea is to pair you up with a mentor. And I say that in jest because, you will always have many mentors, both formal and informal. But here we'd like to set you up with someone who can guide you through your first few months and help you navigate things as you learn the terrain here. We're always going to be committed to a lot of professional development at the school. We do it on a weekly and monthly basis, and that will be integrated into everything you do here. And we expect you to participate fully. For our communication, the electronic ones, by the way, we use Microsoft 365 as generally our system, our space that we work in, and I'll give you a lot of support in that area as needed. That's how things are working there. So you've heard a lot, learned a lot, going to have a lot of questions. I recommend you kind of flip back and forth through this presentation when you have time and develop some questions that you might want answered, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. Generally, you should always seek out your immediate supervisor, and if you don't know who that is, boy, that's going to be a challenge because you should know who that is. So find out who that person is and make sure you are getting all the answers that you need and the support you need and the guidance that you need to be successful in the role that you have been hired to do. Finally, again, we want you to be comfortable and we want you to have all the resources because we want you to stay because our students depend on that. All right. So we're just doing a quick check-in. At this point, if you don't, you should have an email address, a phone number, if that applies, a Chromebook or some type of laptop, access on how to access the portal where you can see your pay stubs, Power School access if that's part of your role, how to access the building with the key card and the time clock. If you're a teacher, some curriculum and instructional materials, you should have access to that and know what you need and any other materials necessary to do the work you've been hired to do. So let's make sure you have that. And then when you do, you'll hit the ground running if you haven't already. And you're looking at this later, but you'll hit the ground running and be able to be as successful as you can be. All right, so remember, get your access key card, time card, room key, laptop, login, a parking pass if you're going to park at the elementary school, and a calendar and staff directory.